Well, hello, 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 unstoppable lionesses. Here we
Oh,
are, another week. Yay!
yeah.
Week to just be empowered and empower the world. I've got one of my lionesses with me that you guys met last month because Miss Jennifer was at the retreat in North Carolina. And so she sat next to me and was able to share and everything. And so I thought it would be really, really cool to catch up the next month. Like, what's happening with you now? So help me welcome Miss Jennifer Harrington. Hey, again to the Unstoppable Lioness Show. How are you, lady?
I am doing my very, very best, is what I say. Every day when I get to wake up, I know that there's a reason why I'm here. And I just say to the Lord, the answer is already yes. What would you have me do today? So
All right.
to
All
be
right.
grateful. Yes.
What does today hold? What does today hold? I love it. I love it. I'm like you. I'm just like, okay, what we doing today, Daddy? Because every every day holds a whole new adventure. So what we doing today? Seriously, I'm excited. So, girl, what's been going on with you? What have you experienced? How have you elevated? And what's going on with you now?
You know, um, the interesting thing is since we have had our time at the Lioness Retreat back in September, one of the things I'll tell you is every morning, if I sometimes I miss a morning, but every morning I start off my day with some praise. And I start off my day with reading the devotion and the devotion book that you gave me. You
Hmm.
know what? There's days where I'm having a bad day, and I've had a couple of those since then. And I say to myself, you know what you didn't do?
You
You
didn't
didn't
start
have
that day off right.
a day off, right? And so it's reminding me to stay close to him because he will give me the words that I need. He will give me the things that I need to hear that will prepare me for whatever it is ahead. And when I am in a moment, I know where to go to get my peace. So thank you for that. Because
I love it.
I am I am grounded in the fact that there's always some rest and there's always some comfort in
Hmm.
him.
It that's an important thing to realize and to take hold of. I've had my ups and downs here of late, and anybody that follows me on Facebook, they know that, I had to put my puppy down on Monday, which was very, very difficult for me because, that was here was my thing. It's like, and I used to tell this to people when I walked in the door, when I came home, if nobody else was glad to see me, she was glad to see me. She's turning flips, she's spinning around, it was like, so it was like that celebration. That's what I said. It was like the one that celebrated me for 12 years. She was that one. And it's an amazing thing that you can walk through different trials. It was like she was my snuggle buddy after Carlton transition. It was like, okay, it was me and Tati because daddy's gone now. And she was trying to understand, where is daddy? What's up with this, right? But I'm grateful that I can stay in a place of gratitude. And I know you can appreciate this, right? And this is the exact same way I got through with my husband's transition is I chose to be grateful for the love I received all those years. And that's how I feel about Tati's transition to her little angel wings. But I can be grateful for the love that she gave me all that time. Since she was 8 weeks old, she literally fit in the palm of my hand. She weighed 2 pounds and 2 ounces when I took her to the vet when I first got her. But it was like that connection instantly. It's like your animals choose you as much as you choose them.
Oh
They
boy.
really, really do. There can be a house full of people, but your animal will choose you. And
Yes.
it was like from the moment she was handed to me, she was like, she was mine. She was mine, and so it's like it's bittersweet, but at the same time, again, I choose gratitude. I choose to be thankful for that time. Now, I've told everybody, I don't want another one. Don't nobody bring me no dog, okay? What's talking about? You need another puppy. No, I don't. Okay. No, I don't. Don't do that. Okay. Because they're like babies. They require a lot of your attention.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I have really, really started to travel a great deal again. And so it's like, no, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm grateful for what I have, but I'm good. Um, you just shared a story with me, thinking about being grateful and how, God does things in our lives. Things change, our surroundings change, the people that we are closest to change, and we still have to maintain, but the most important thing is recognizing that no matter what you're doing, God, you've got my best interest at heart, even though I may not understand it at the time, right? So, you and I were talking before the broadcast, and you were sharing a story with me about friends. And I told you I wanted you to share. And the reason I wanted you to share is because I believe that there are lionesses out here who have experienced loss of friends. They've experienced transitions in their circle. And a lot of times that transition is a really, really good thing. Okay, you don't want it, you're trying to hold on to what was, and God is going, they can't go with you where you're going.
That,
You need to
that,
understand that part. They can't go with you where you're going, and you don't want to drag this weight with you. Tell your story. Let me shut up and let you share.
tell my story. I'll start here with June 2nd or June 3rd. I went to a conference, Executive Women of Color. And on my flight from San Francisco to Chicago is where the conference was held. There was another woman on the flight, and I did not know her, did not see her, etc. Got my bags um, off the baggage claim, and then went to the hotel. Registered, and I turn around, and there's a woman standing there. And I say, "Hi, my name is Jennifer, because Executive Women of Color. I'm presuming if she's at this hotel, she must be coming to this conference as well." And she says to me, "Are you from the Bay Area?" And I say, "Yes." She goes, "Well, you were on my plane. I saw you at the baggage claim." All right, Lord. Yes, I hear you. So during that conference, I made it a special point to make sure that I connected with her later on before we headed out, because at that time she shared she wanted to invite me to an event, and I said, "Well, I'm close enough to home family in Ohio. I'm going to leave this conference and go to see family." She says, "Well, we've got to get together when we get back to the Bay." This woman turns out to be the co-chair of the conference.
Oh
I
my
know.
goodness.
I know. So that says a lot about people in leadership or positions of authority. And I shouldn't say I'm no one, but I'm an attendee. It's my first time attending this conference. All she knew was that she saw me on the plane. I was a woman of color. I registered. I wanted to introduce myself, and she stayed connected to me.
Hmm.
When we return back to the Bay Area, we haven't met in person yet, but she told me about a few other resources that I could pursue. And one of those resources or one of those things was a conference called BDHEA, which is the acronym Black Directors Health Equity Agenda. It is a organization that is comprised of Black directors on boards. Um, and she shared with me that it'd be a conference I should consider attending. And so I went ahead and I signed up for the conference. And the nice thing is the conference was in Nashville, Tennessee.
Hmm.
Now, mind you, 15 years ago, I lived in Nashville, Tennessee. 15, 16 years ago, I lived in Nashville, Tennessee for about 4 years. And I met some wonderful women in Nashville. And so I was excited to return to my roots. As a matter of fact, one of the women that I thought that I would be friends with until we both transitioned and went up to go see our father, her name was Jazz. And I was super excited about being able to come home and see her. And she and I have been trying to coordinate a time for us to get together and celebrate our birthdays. We both are, our birthdays are in the summer. Hers is in July, and then mine is in August. And so this would be a great time for me to come early. So come that early in that week and spend the weekend together and celebrate. And then I attend the conference on that Monday and that Tuesday. Well, we have been planning this meetup prior to this past week because I literally just left the conference yesterday. And probably 3 weeks ago, so maybe a week and a half or so before I was supposed to hit the ground, hit Nashville, Tennessee again after 15 years, we chatted on the phone via FaceTime. I was on the phone with my daughter and her children know each other, and we wanted to connect and just say hello. And I think Lauren wanted to ask her something. And when she answered the phone on FaceTime, I noticed that she was wearing a hijab. Now it shocked me. I have to admit, because we had talked on the phone, we had text message, different things. And the reason why it shocked me is because when I lived in Nashville, Tennessee, we both went to church together. We talked about God quite often, and I would think that if I was close enough to this person that I would know that she was considering another religion, considering converting. And I said to her, "Hey, what's going on? This is a shock to me. It's a surprise." And she said, "We'll talk about it later," because of course both of our daughters were on the phone. Later on, we it's just she and I on the phone, and we're talking, and then because I had originally was planning to come on that Wednesday, so we could spend Wednesday through the weekend, Sunday, and then I would go to the conference on Monday to celebrate our birthdays and just catch up and just be together and fellowship together. And I needed to change my flight till Friday, and there was some kind of mix up. So she messages me and says, "Hey, will you give me a call?" She goes, "Why did I think you were going to be coming today?" And I said, "Because we originally discussed that, but we decided I needed to move it till Friday, and I think our wires got crossed." And that was an opportunity for me to talk to her about her recent conversion. So I said, "Tell me more about what this is. What's going on?" And she made comments here and there, and it gave me the impression that she wasn't quite ready to share because she even said, "It feels like I know my brain is all over the place, my mind is all over the place." And I said, "Well, it's okay." And then I asked her a question. I said, "Well, are you engaged or are you married? Is that may have caused this change?" And she said no, she was not married and she had not gotten engaged, and that this was just a decision she had made. And I thought, okay, all right. So I said, "Well, I'll see you on Friday." And so, okay. And I didn't think anything of it. And she didn't indicate anything differently. So Friday morning, I get up and I get to the airport and I try and give her a call because I know about Californians, we're always behind. So if I give her a call at 10 o'clock, she's clearly up and working. No
Mhm.
answer. And then I send her a text message and no answer. And so finally, as the plane is saying we're getting ready to take off, I send her a text message and say, "Hey, I'll see you in 4.5 hours." I get to Nashville, Tennessee airport and try and call, try and text, and there is no answer. No answer. Now, mind you, attending this conference, I could have booked a hotel, but I did not because the plan was for me to spend as much time with her as I could. Since we hadn't seen each other in person since just after the pandemic, just before as
Wow.
we were able to travel again. That was had been the last time. So I want to say 21 was the last time we had seen each other in person. And I thought this is really odd. So I called another friend of mine, Adrian, and said, because he knows her and had her phone number, and he tried to call her, and he goes, "That's really strange." And then Adrian says to me, "You don't know anybody else in Nashville?" Because at this point, I'm planning to stay with Jazz, don't have a place to stay. I go to look to see if there are any hotels available. And of course, it's homecoming weekend,
Hmm.
conferences.
No
So there's
rooms to be had.
no rooms to be had. And I said, "Oh my goodness." And when Adrian says to me, "You don't know anyone else," I said, "Most people have moved away." And then I thought, Lisa, So then I go through my phone, pull up her number, call her, and her response was, "Is this Jennifer Harrington?" And I said, "Yes." And then she says to me, "Tell me you're in Nashville." I said, "Yes." Then she hears the overhead pages, I think, in the airport, and she says, "Are you in the airport?" And I said, "Yes." And then she asked me another question. And that question I can't remember at this point in time, but it was a question to sort of explain what's going on. And then I can't speak because the emotions that come over you when you think to yourself, I haven't spoken to you and now I know 5 years because the last time we communicated, I checked our text messages was in 2020.
Mm,
She opened her arms to me to say, "It's so good to hear your voice. I'm so glad that you called." And so when I explained to her why I was there, she said to me, "I said to you 15 years ago, my door is always open. I will
mm,
be here." And then she shared with me, I would be able to come get you, but I need to go pick up my foster daughter. And I said, "What?" And I won't go into that story, but just know this woman has a heart that is so incredibly big. It is just amazing. And I'll tell you, when I say 10 toes down for her friends and her family, 10 toes down. And I went to stay with Lisa. So I stayed with her from Friday until Wednesday, and it has been a life-changing experience. Every day we talked about God had a plan. He brought us together for
yeah.
X, brought us together for Y, or for Z. It was just the most enriching, encouraging, blessed experience that I've had with a girlfriend that I can say that I've probably ever had with a girlfriend. Mainly because it wasn't my plan. I had a
Exactly. Yes.
plan.
Yeah.
And that plan
Yeah.
was to be with Jazz. And so
Right.
when it didn't happen the way it was supposed to, I can tell you I grieved
No,
for a
it
month.
did happen the way it was supposed to, but if not the way you had planned it. It
Right,
happened exactly the way it was supposed to.
right. Because I think I grieved for a moment, probably about 5 or 10, maybe 15 minutes, no more than 20. And then I looked, this is what you want. This was always your plan.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
never hesitated on coming to BDHEA. I never hesitated on buying a ticket to Nashville, Tennessee. And the moment that I couldn't get a hold of her, I never said to myself, I'm gonna turn around and go home. It was like, no, you're supposed to be here. Now sit here and sit still and be still, and it will
Right.
come to you. And it did.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
The reason I wanted you to share that story is because as lionesses, as women, um, we have a tendency to buy into, and I talk about this all the time. We buy into the lie that women can't get along, that women betray women, that you have to be very careful and all of these different things. And your story impacted me from a perspective of everybody who you may have had in your inner circle is not who God would have in your inner circle. And those that you may not have really considered, God has a plan. He has a plan.
Yes.
You thought that this other person was, hey, that's my girl, and all is well. But you never know until God reveals. And this was the key. This is the key component that I want our lionesses to see and to understand is God will reveal to you who is supposed to be and who is not supposed to be in that inner circle. It is so much, it's like I have a saying, I can love you from afar. Okay. But there are people, there are kingdom connections. And I firmly believe this. There are kingdom connections, people that God will put us in connection with. The woman that brought you into my life was a kingdom connection for me. Like Neil and I are about to do business together, right? It's like, but that was, we met in January and we knew instantly that, okay, God has something in plan here. This is a kingdom connection, right? And then we didn't talk or see each other again until June. In June, we both winded up in Spain together at a retreat. and it was just like a sister bond. Like it was, you couldn't even explain it like properly, but it was really like sisters bonding. Like we had known each other all of our lives, and God was just in like, nope, I put you guys together, and this is why, you know. And it's an amazing thing how God will do that. Again, I wanted you to share your story because I believe that there are lionesses out here that feel that possibly somebody that they thought was going to be, as you said, 10 toes down, that were not. And they feel that, okay, because of that, I'm not letting anybody else in. My guard is up. I'm not going to ever trust anybody. What they said is true. Women can't trust women. All these different things come into mind. I have a friend that I met 37 years ago, and I call her my BFF. I said, if I was ever on a deserted island, this is who I would want on this island with me, because she has the same fighter spirit that I have. Birthdays, we both our birthdays is in October, but it's like, and our lives paralleled each other so much. Now she's 1 year older than me, but we both had our first child at 14, had another one at 16. And she beat me. She had one more. She has three, but it's just like, our lives just crossed and we connected. We have both been out there in the drug scene. We have both been, you know what I'm saying, in different walks of life, and came into the kingdom at the same time. Didn't know each other in the street, but came in fresh off the street right about the same time, and we bonded. It's been 37 years. All right. It's like God will bring that. And here's the key. Here's the key. When he brought me into the kingdom, those people that were I thought was my ride or dies, all fell away because
Mhm.
my life changed.
Mhm.
There was a transition. I wasn't the same. Let me say this to you, Jennifer, and I'm hearing this by the Spirit. Your life has changed, and obviously so has Jazz's. And the two don't cohesively exist anymore. Doesn't mean that you may not talk to her later on and things will be cool, but they'll never be like this
Right.
because there's a different flow.
Yes.
There's a different flow. We need to understand as women that we can accept that, there's a different flow.
Mhm.
Seriously, it just happens, you know, and it's okay.
Yes.
You don't have to be mad at the other person. You don't have to be mad at you. How could I not see this? All these different things that we walk through. No, no, you're a lioness. Okay. And
Yes.
so you're going to walk in your regalness.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody is not going to walk with you. Other lionesses will walk with you because they will be your protection. They will be your cover. They will help you with your cubs. But a tiger is not going to walk with you. A panther is not going to walk with you.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? You guys may all be big cats, but y'all not going to walk together.
Mhm. What you
So this is why I wanted you to share that, because it was just, I'm like, I was just sensing as you were saying it, there are some lionesses right now that are walking through a period of recalibration. Being recalibrated. And I'm laughing because my apostle's apostle was in town this weekend doing a conference at our church, and his word for the weekend was recalibrate.
Wow.
It
Wow.
was recalibrate.
Wow.
So there was just a recalibration happening. And like I said, and it's fine, and you have such a warm and a beautiful spirit anyway. So Jazz might pick up a phone and call you next week and say, whatever, but you'll be okay,
Yeah.
like, no,
Mhm.
I'm good. It happened as it was supposed to happen.
Yes. And thank you for continuing to point that out. And thank you for pointing out that I'm a different person today.
You are.
Yes. Because 3 years ago, when this happened, literally 3 years ago this month, I lost another friend. And I grieve that. for a very long time.
Mm.
And I'll tell and that person hasn't picked up the phone, and I'm okay with that now too. So my experience through that and my transition and my pivot to who I am today
Mhm.
prepared me for what was to come.
Yeah.
And sometimes I say to myself all these different sayings when I was growing up, but one that I never really understood until now, he will give me peace beyond all understanding. I'm gonna tell you what, and we're talking about one scenario right now, but I've had a couple other scenarios recently, and I just said, thank you. I get it now. I understand it. I understand it. Thank you
I'm
for the
so excited that the PMP rubbed off.
yes.
We,
Praise in pajamas.
that's
Yes.
praise in pajamas, man. 6 a.m. praise in pajamas. I'm just excited it wore on.
Yes, it did. Thank you. Thank you, Corlette.
Uh, I this is what makes it all worth it, you know. You were walking through some health challenges that you got incredible news about when we were at the retreat and all the difference. I promise you, the other day I finally downloaded the pictures, right? I hadn't downloaded the pictures from the photo shoot. And I was just looking at you and there was like such a glow, you know. It was just like, oh, I was like, if did nobody else look good in these photos, you looked phenomenal.
It was an
We
amazing,
all look good, y'all. Just so you know, we did
right.
all look good,
It was
but
an amazing day.
but
We all
you
looked
looked
amazing.
phenomenal.
Oh, thank you. From the inside out, I'm gonna tell you what, there's nothing like joy,
Yes.
nothing like true joy that you feel. So, yeah, it was a good day. It was a
So
good
let
retreat.
me ask you, coming like, because we kind of went to some deep places in the retreat, but kind of coming face to face with the greatness that you possess. How has that impacted you since?
You know, it's interesting. I hear you saying that, and a part of me sometimes says to myself, is this for real? Is
Mm.
this for real? The confidence that I have in myself. So I'll tell you a story. At BDHEA, the conference I was at, um, there was a gentleman who was one of the founding members, but he's also in a very high position at Kaiser Permanente. And I said to myself, I would love to do work or business with Kaiser Permanente. I would love for Correctel to do some telecommunications auditing for Kaiser Permanente. And I
Mhm.
wanted to check in with my partner to because she's been doing it for 30 plus years to make sure we hadn't done business with Kaiser. And I said to myself, how do I approach this individual? And so I didn't approach him the first day. I knew his title, his role, introduced myself, and then I came back to the chat, to the Faith Biz chat.
Okay.
Okay, yes. And I said, well, tell me about this person because I was looking for some connection and how do I make a connection with this individual? And so chat helped me understand that Correctel, what the work that we do, the forensic auditing, he spent years, almost 20 years at Deloitte doing auditing. It wasn't forensic auditing, but it was doing auditing.
Oh, wow.
And then gave me some insights on how I could make a connection with this individual.
Wow. I love my chat.
I I love my chat too. I love your chat and my chat and our chat. And so finally I had the nerve to come up and speak with him, and we're talking, and he says, so do you have something you're wanting from me? And I said, absolutely. This is what I would like for you to do. And he says, I can make those introductions. So I said, well, let's make a connection on LinkedIn. And he says, my information is there. I go to verify that I have the correct information. And he says, look at that. You've already reached out. We're already connected. Now, already connected, I had sent him a message in 2024 saying, it's good to be connected to you. Would love to speak more with you about opportunities. And he just had never
Wow.
responded. And so
Wow. Wow.
in June, met Caritha,
Wow.
who knew who I was, came from the Bay,
My
stayed
God. And told you go to this conference.
this conference for me to connect to the very person that I was attempting to connect to 1 year before. I
Mm-mm.
said, look at
You can't make this stuff up. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up.
look at him showing up and showing out. So yes, 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 yes. And turns out this man is just genuinely a good guy and wants to help connect me. And then I made a reconnection with another person at that conference who's going to support me. So yeah, I just
I
like I
love
said,
it.
I started this off by saying I wake up and I say the answer is already yes. What would you have
Mm-hmm.
me do?
Mm-hmm.
And I know when it's easy. Just like the Lioness retreat, it was easy. Neil put it in my text message and I just went ahead and signed up. It was easy. When he
Yeah.
makes it that easy, it is for me. And when it's hard, like it was hard to get a hold of Jazz. I said, okay, I hear you. I understand. And I'm okay. I need to do something different. What do I do?
God gives us sweatless victories. We don't understand what that means. He said to cast your cares upon him, for he cares for you. And we make it so difficult. We really, really do. All we need to do is align ourselves with what he just align ourselves, period. And then just flow, And that's, you and I talked a couple of weeks ago, and it was just like I can hear you just in the flow. You're just in the flow. And that's what it's all about. That's where I find myself right now, is in the flow. It was like I was in DC last week. I had the opportunity to be interviewed at the National Press Club. Okay.
Okay.
And then the next day speak at the Howard Theater. And I mean, it's like, oh my God, am I really here? Like, is this really real? Right.
Love
And
that.
it was just an amazing experience. And it was like, okay, God, I can feel it. I'm just in your flow. I am just in your flow. Had somebody leave me a message today. Just wanted to know, are you interested in doing TED Talks? Because we can make that happen.
Wow.
And this is somebody I connected with like 3 years ago. And it's just like, this is exactly what he said. He said, I was driving from the post office to the UPS store and you just fell in the spirit. And so I thought I needed to give you a call. He said, and he left me a message, a messenger. He was like, I've been trying to get you so I can interview you for this book I'm doing. And we've just like our paths have been going like this, right? But then he said, but then just today it was just like, connect, call her. And I was like,
I love it.
okay.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Our steps are ordered.
No.
Our steps are ordered. Because Lisa, I met her 15, 16 years ago. We hadn't chatted via, our last chat was a text message because during the pandemic, I started reaching out to all my peeps. Hey, checking on you.
Are you
You,
okay? Yeah.
yes, roll
Are
call.
you okay? Yeah, exactly. Roll call.
Yes.
Right.
And that was the last text message I had sent to her. And so,
Mhm.
and we both said while we were in community with one another, we have always been the kind of friend that we just pick up the phone and we pick right back up from where we were.
Hmm.
And that's
Don't
and
you love those?
I love those. And
I
that's
do
what
too.
tells me it is him. He
Yeah.
is the one that wants us to be in each other's lives. In community.
Right. And as you and I discussed before, like you were the answer for each other. Like she
Yes,
needed your skill set
yes.
and you needed her. It was like God just said, okay, let's just do this, right? It's amazing.
Yes, she is just absolutely wonderful. I'll give context to that. So Lisa has adopted, no, Lisa is a foster mom to a 10-year-old girl. Um, she has two biological daughters through a marriage, and then she adopted a daughter that she and I met, we were both raising our children. She was married and I was a single mother, and we both decided to take our girls to Disney World one year. And
Aw.
and Lauren still remembers this. Jordan still remembers it too. Jordan's her daughter. And she says, we didn't tell them anything, packed all the stuff, put it in the car. And the next morning we get up and we're standing at the bus stop. The bus rolls up. Lauren's looking to get in. She's got her uniform on and everything. And I started turning to her. I said, let's not go to school today. Let's go to Disney World. And Laura goes, are you serious? And then she goes, well, wait a minute. Do we have to fly? She starts crying, like, because she doesn't want to fly. She's afraid of flying. But it was an amazing experience. And Jordan had her own thing. Jordan wanted to go to school. So, but we still went to Disney and had an amazing time. And just, we just have these memories, right? That comes along with us. And so, Jordan is adopted, and Haven, sorry, who is her 9-year old then when she joined her, and 10 years old now, is with her. And it's interesting when I called on the phone, Haven was with her. Obviously, my picture popped up, and then when she hung up, Lisa later on told me that Haven said to her, "Your friend is black," and Lisa says, "Yes, she is black." So when I walk in, and Lisa doesn't say that to me. She doesn't tell me Haven's black because it doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Right?
matter, right?
I
Right.
walk in the house and I see Haven, and she's a beautiful girl. She's kind of got her head down, a little less self-esteem than she should have at this point, but that's going to change. And she's got this beautiful curly hair and it's back in this ponytail. And so I embrace her and just say it's so good to meet her. And the days that I had been there, I said to myself, oh, I see the problem, the issue. Lisa doesn't know how to do Haven's hair.
That's here.
So then one day we're out, I think it's either Saturday or so, the second or third day. I said, let's stop at Ulta. Lisa says, for what? And I said, let's just want to stop at Ulta to get some products, etc. Because she had tried all kinds of things. And so we got some things. And I said, hey, why don't you go wash your hair? I said, I won't braid it because she had some emotions about braids. I said, well, I'll do it. I'll put some twists in it, something cute, some beads. And so I'm doing, Haven comes out and I go to detangle it. And I go to at the end, and she goes, "That's how you do it?" I said, "You start at the end with our hair." She goes, "Oh my gosh, I've always been trying to start at the root." I
Which
said,
is why she hated getting her hair combed. Bless her heart.
which is why, yes. And so she learned so much about that. And then I put her hair in twist, and then we twisted it, and then we got beaters, and she had never beaded hair before, so we did that. And she just said, you came here to help me with this. And she was smiling and beaming when she saw what her hair looked like. And I even texted her earlier today, and I said, "How did the hair turn out?" She goes, "Right now it's all stuffed in a shower cap because she doesn't want to get it wet." And Haven did her hair, so she's got some beads in her hair now.
Oh,
So
that
they're
is so cute.
bonding over that. And so it was such an amazing experience, from the hair to
I love
the
it. I love
stories.
it.
It's yeah.
That's why I see you guys were each other's answer.
Yes.
That's
Yes, we are
amazing.
what we
That's
need.
amazing. You
Yeah.
know, I am so excited about what's happening with you on the professional side too, because we worked on expanding your business and and Faith Biz GPT was like part of that. And for you guys that don't know, I created a GPT called Faith Biz Blueprint, and it's a business GPT. That was the purpose of it. And it will integrate your faith with your business plan and your marketing plan and all these different things. And it's just a cute story. So Jennifer was on a roll and then all of a sudden got stuck.
We're gonna talk about that now. Okay, you know what? I'm not the first and I won't be the last. But go ahead.
No,
Or y'all
because I had to walk through it to tell you what to do. So you definitely wasn't the first.
got to the
But
first.
I'm like, it can't do what you're asking it to do, and it doesn't know how to tell you it can't. So you have to put it in chat's mind that, okay, we have a problem here. Why is this coming out this way? And then chat will explain to you, yes, you're absolutely because I have a problem processing all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like, what? I was like, It's all in the prompts. It's all in the prompting.
All in
So,
the
you
prompt.
know, as long as you keep giving it stuff, it's going to keep trying to do it. It's going to keep, and then after a while, it's like, okay, we have a problem here. Why do we have this problem? And then it will analyze its own problem. And it says, you're
Tell
right.
you what the
And
problem
this is
is.
the, and
Yes. Okay. I take a pause.
she was just like, okay,
What?
because she had gotten so frustrated. And I was
Oh,
like, all you have to do is ask.
well, what I didn't understand, but I understand it now, is that chat will do anything, and I'm gonna call him a he, anything he can to please me. He
Yes,
he
he
was
will.
not gonna tell me that he couldn't do it. He was just gonna keep trying, and I was gonna getting more and more
So
frustrated until I just
frustrated.
said, this isn't working. He's like, you're right. Like, thank you for finally acknowledging that because I was really tired of trying to figure out how to make
Wait a minute. What you just said, that is so hysterical to me because isn't that like a man? It's just like,
trying to please me.
they're just like, okay, I'm just gonna keep going. And after a while, you're going like, but baby, that ain't working.
Not working. It's not working. Let's just stop. Let's just stop here. And so, yes, I'm a changed woman around my use of AI. Hmm.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna have to come on and share our next Women Empowerment in Leadership networking event on LinkedIn next month is dealing with technology in your business and how it will enhance your business. You know, but it's all in how you use it, you know. I'm really, really passionate about AI from a faith base and from a senior base. Okay. So I just turned 69 on Sunday. Yay. Thank you, Lord, for 69. And next year, just you go ahead and make your plans because a 70 will be in the Maldives.
I've
I
heard the
keep putting
rumor.
it out there. I'm like, we're going to the Maldives for 70.
Okay.
Anybody
All
want to
right.
come, you're welcome, but that's where I'm gonna be. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
but it's like, you know, for so long it has gotten such a bad rap. And I remember just a few weeks ago, I was on my way to San Diego to the growth hacking conference, and it was an AI conference, right? And I was talking to a young lady, a woman my age. We're young ladies, yeah. Anyway, at church, and I was telling her where I was going, right? And she looked at me, she said, doesn't that scare you? I'm just scared it's going to take my job. And I looked at her and I said, it can't take your job if you know how to use it, because then you become valuable to your company.
Absolutely.
This is the problem that people are facing. They're like, oh, AI is going to take my job. No, learn how to use it because they need people that know how to use it. Then
Yes.
you become a person of value, you
Yes.
know? And so this is what we're going to be talking about. It's just like, you know, I love it. It's like
Fun.
my grandson was just over here. He has a new business venture he wants to go into. Okay. So it's like you need a business plan. All right. Now he was late getting over here, which is why I was late in here. But he sat there, and within 45 minutes, I had him in his hand, his business plan, his marketing plan, his forecast, his finance, all of that here in his hand. And he's going,
Right.
now I'm like, okay, I'm 69, baby. You 27. You should already know you can do this, right?
Right. Right.
But
But
the amazement on his face, he was like, wow, Granny, you just spit that out. Like,
game changer.
yeah,
Yes.
that's what AI can do. You
Mhm.
know, it just cuts your time like, like,
Yes.
okay. So we are down to a minute left. So I want you to share about your business because there are women in leadership as part of Women Thrive Network, right? Women Thrive Media, and they may need your auditing abilities.
They may need it. They probably do. They just don't know. So Correctel is the name of the organization. In my organization, what we do is we help organizations find money for their mission, their strategy, new initiatives, etc. How we help you find that money is because we do forensic auditing of your telecommunications bills. Most organizations I shouldn't say most, all organizations we've ever encountered in the 30 years of us doing this work has overpaid their telecommunications. We recover money that's been overpaid to the vendor based upon your statute of limitations, 2, 3, 4 years. And once we receive that credit, then how we get paid is contingency basis. It's success based, meaning if we find nothing, then you owe us nothing. That's how confident we are that your bill is incorrect. And
How
then
do
I,
they find you? We're
I
down to 5 seconds. How do they find you?
find us www.correctel.com, CORECTEL.com. Go to our website. It's amazing. And then it'll get you all kinds of ways to get to us. Okay.
Yay! And Jennifer is amazing as well, if you have not noticed. So get in
Take
touch with her and use Correctel, okay? All right, Lionesses, that's it for this week. I pray that you have enjoyed this. I definitely have. And Lord willing, we will do it again next week. God bless.